Have you ever met someone from the internet and instantly regretted it? So I met this girl online who seemed perfect on paper. She was a ballet dancer and she was going to be performing in her school's annual spring show. She was top of her class, loved partying, down to earth, and even told me that she swallows. I knew after a few days of lengthy AIM conversations and a few dirty texts back and forth that she must be the real deal, so we made plans to meet up over the weekend, when she'd be home alone. So imagine my frustration when I walk in, ready for some freaky, hot online stranger sex, and I'm greeted by some dude and his camera crew telling me to have a seat. Worst first date ever. Did the dude at least swallow, as advertised? Online dating. We met at the train station and walked to the restaurant. Within 10 minutes, he stopped me, turned my body towards him, said, "You're so beautiful," and leaned in for a kiss, which I would have been okay with. Instead, he licked my cheek. My special move is starting with a French kiss, so we both have wide open mouths, and then vigorously exhaling into her face. I met this little alien and now I can't get anything done. Definitely sounds like you regretted it. I used to be a huge WoW fan and decided to meet my guild leader while in Detroit one week. Turns out she's not as hot as her voice made her sound, and it's likely her picture was from high school because she'd gained about 100 pounds, had a blondish mustache growing, and very hairy feet. After meeting her, I decided I should quit playing WoW and focus on school. Pro tip: voices are no indication of attractiveness. I've met tons of Redditors at various meetups. Out of any 10, there's usually about 4 I wouldn't normally associate with. I'm not saying they're bad people, but they're so socially inept I cringe just talking to them. I usually regret it until I'm good and drunk, at which point it becomes pretty fun. When you meet a Redditor, you quickly learn that memes are even less funny in real life than they are in print. Online date. Girl lied about her appearance, used MySpace angles all over the place. We met at Starbucks and then went for some food. She had to have known about her lie because every 30 seconds or so she'd asked me, "So, are you into me? So, do you find me attractive?" I kept saying yes because honestly, I wouldn't have wanted to cause a scene if I had told her otherwise. Towards the end of the night, we walked to our cars, and I had to do the kiss dodgy thing that 90% of women have had to do on their dating career. She asked me, "It's because I'm overweight, isn't it?" I said, "No, it's because you lied. It makes the weight look so much worse," and walked away. I met up with a girl I talked to online, BBS, back in the day. I see a girl answering her description. At the meeting place we arranged, I walk up and say, "Are you Jane?" There's a pause. She looks very uncomfortable. She says, No." At this point we both know it is her, but she's taken one look at me and wants out. There is another long pause. She walks away. So do I. I once met up with a girl from Neopets, of all places, Shudder, at a concert, and she wouldn't leave me alone for the entire day. Back in my day, Neopets was not a dating website. It's still not. I moderate this sci-fi chat site. The mods there aren't really any different than the chatters, so we're generally liked. This one guy took a bit more of a liking to me than normal. Then one day I came back to my dorm from classes and he was sitting outside of it with chocolates and gifts and things. You ever have one of those "what the fuck, there's a 400-pound man outside my dorm" moments? 'Cause they're fucked up. So I asked this guy what he wants, and he says all he wants is dinner with me. So I agreed as long as my roommate came. Like hell I wanted to be alone in this. So we order a pizza and eat in. And my roommate has this brilliant idea that this guy should spend the night in our room. Holy fuck. I had a lofted bed and woke up to him trying to climb it at least twice. He asked if he could spend a second night, and I was pretty damn clear that was not going to happen. So I tell him to leave and I go to class the next day. Needless to say, I no longer talk to him. Circa 2002-2003, really cute girl on Friendster starts messaging me. Naturally I'm intrigued. Chat a while, seems normal. She asks me to come hang out with her. She lives in Squirrel Hill. I still live in the suburbs with the rents and am unemployed and am pretty much broke. I get down there wearing cut-off shorts, plain white tee, and beat-up hat. She's dressed like we're about to go to some fancy club or some shit. I get out of the car and start walking to her door. She comes out and totally gives me a disgusted look. like I look like shit. I probably did. I say, "Hey buddy," she responds with, "Don't call me buddy, that's what people call their dogs." Great start to a date. She asks where we're going. I say I have no idea. She invited me. I thought we were just gonna hang out, and I don't even know what to do in Squirrel Hill. Again, this upsets her. She suggests we go out to eat at Gullifty's. I'm fine with that. This girl is obviously rich as fuck, yet the whole time just complains to me about how she hates the system and all this shit. It was really not an enjoyable time, and we clearly don't like each other. I do pay for the meal, and as we're leaving, she gives me this whole, "My roommate really loves the pie here. Will you buy my roommate a pie?" I'm just like, no. Who the fuck makes that request anyway? So I drive her the short way home, in pretty much complete silence. We pull up to her house. Without looking at me, she says bye, gets out of the car, slams the door, and starts walking to her house. I yell out at her, "See ya later, buddy!" She gives me the finger. I give her the finger, and I never heard from her again. It wasn't exactly instant for me. My friends and I had this online friend, who lived in a bordering state, that we played games with all the time. He found out we were planning a big LAN and asked if he could take the train down and come. We all thought it'd be cool, and I agreed to let him stay with me at my mom's place. The guy was 6 foot something, 400 plus pounds, and I don't think showered often. In the 4 days he was there, didn't take a shower. Now, I'm not trying to rag on him. He was a nice guy and fun to play with. But it just goes with the story. He ended up falling asleep on my bed at one point, which was next to the window. We lived in basically the desert, and it's about 100 every day during summer. The blinds happened to be open, and he literally was roasting in the sun. The sweat had completely soaked the mattress. I so wish I was kidding, and the smell wouldn't go away no matter how much we washed or scrubbed. Sadly, had to get rid of the mattress. After that I was done. Met a chick on MySpace that only had angle pictures and close-ups. I could tell that she wasn't the hottest girl in the world, but I was bored, so I figured I'd have a go just for fun. The second she showed up I regretted it. She looked like Octomom and was bats hit crazy. She lived with her ex-husband and got all creepy obsessed with me and would write poems about me on the internet. At the time I was a career alcoholic, broke and had nothing to offer anyone, so the fact that she got all obsessive was just that much weirder. She'd get mad at me if I didn't call her twice a day. It took about 2 months to get her out of my life. Yes, especially when I was doing online dating. A girl who appeared to be cute online failed to mention that she gained close to 100 pounds since her pics. I instantly regretted it when I finally met her and saw her barely able to fit through a door. When I was a chubby, younger fellow, I ended up flirting with a girl online. We exchanged pictures. She was cute enough and seemed nice, so we arranged a movie date. When I picked her up, she was much larger and uglier than her pictures indicated. Fucking MySpace angles. I decided to be the bigger man and go ahead with the date. After all, she seemed nice, so even if I wasn't attracted to her, maybe we would have some good conversation. Fuck that girl. She had nothing but the most vapid things to say. We saw somebody she knew at the theater, which she didn't introduce me to. When they left, she spent the next 20 minutes before the movie started on the phone. I dropped that rude bitch off at home without saying another word to her. I would have just walked away while she was on the phone. Online dating. He was late meeting me for lunch, and when he got there I was met by a gruff, very short Asian guy who had a pronounced caveman brow ridge with a giant bushy unibrow on top. The worst part was, he was a horribly unpleasant person. Any attempt to engage him was met with extreme defensiveness, and he was quite the condescending know-it-all. It was so bad, I was hoping it was some kind of hidden camera prank, because this guy's very existence depresses me. Afterward, even though he asked me out and was the one who chose the kind of expensive place, he acted like I was this horrible bitch for staring at the check for a moment before going Dutch. Then, even though he had a car with him and lived relatively near me, refused to give me a ride home, citing half-baked, lame excuses for why he didn't want to go slightly out of his way. The final insult to the whole experience was that he had the nads to call me after that. About a month later, while drunk, I walked into a coffee shop to meet an online date. I didn't recognize him, so he came up and introduced himself. I replied, "This isn't going to work," and promptly exited. His picture appeared to have been taken before I was born. I met this skinny little sexy Korean girl with well-defined arms and nice chest and sexy eyes and great cheekbones. In person, her body was shaped like a sausage and her face like an overinflated beach ball. She asked if she looked like her pictures and I said kinda. She had a great time, let me pay for dinner, then deleted all contact with me. Met another super sexy Latina. In person she was super sexy. And completely fucking insane. I'm pretty sure she is the source of every questionable story on Reddit. Do you have a similar story? Leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.